When I came to Fresno High the first time, the kids would call it Hell Week, okay? So we had this thing we were so proud of called stations. It was 4 stations, and they were a grueling test of mankind with bear crawls and all this stuff. And you put 4 stations, and they were 2 minutes, and you sprinted between stations. It was just like, and you ran a mile, and this went on for a week. We didn't call it Hell Week. When I got here, the kids said, "When are we having Hell Week? When are we?" But I had long abandoned Hell Week because, I mean, I guess there's something to that in terms of establishing a toughness or letting certain kids know that haven't been around it, that this is kind of it's kind of like a rite of passage. But as I got older, I realized it really didn't result in a better product on the field. If I spent that time in developing a skill or a fundamental by each kid, if I spent that much time that I spent on that, improving their footwork or their play or their ability to catch the ball or their ability to backpedal or their accuracy throwing the ball, that's better. That the time is better spent that way. And also, I learned that, and I think I've touched on this before, the pace of your practice and the way you use your time is most important, and it becomes conditioning, in fact, along with your skill development. So I think that's the one thing I always look back on, is that was kind of a waste of time. It's kind of a macho coach's thing, you know.
Right.
You know, I think trust is developed it starts on a one-to-one basis. It starts on saying good morning to a kid, or how you doing this morning, or, you know, patting them on the back when they walk by. I realized when I came back from spring break that I probably wasn't doing that as much as I should have been doing or I have in the past, so I kind of made a conscious effort to make sure I go around and say good morning or say something or pat a kid on the back or make a comment to them, always something positive. So I think that's trust development. And then I think the final piece of that is being a straight shooter and telling kids the truth. And, you know, one of the questions I've gotten a lot of, Coach Reyes, can I play the position? I've probably got that question minimum of 6 times. So I think and the funny thing about that is I can't remember very often where we've really tried to get a kid to change positions, but we've never forced them to change it. But I guess I'm kind of different in that way, because kids obviously were put in positions they didn't want to play or didn't have their hearts in. So I kind of, you know, on one level I kind of wonder, well, what are you really getting out of that kid if he really doesn't want to be doing that? And but the other part is, and I think this is again part of the trust development, is I told every kid, I said, yes, we'll let you try that position. Yeah, you can play tight end. Okay, you didn't like the line, but I'm going to tell you this. Let's say I put you there and it looks like you're 4th or 5th guy and I don't think you're going to play, then we'll probably come to you and say, hey, Chris, you know, I really think you could play more if you come over here, but I won't make you change positions. And I just think little things like that kind of reverberates around kids. And plus, I said the last thing, but really the last thing is fairness. Are you dealing with the kids that need to be dealt with, and the other kids see it? Yesterday, in our defensive fundamental day yesterday, I mentioned that I hired one of my former players in his first defensive coordinator position. Yesterday, he spent an hour explaining to kids, breaking down how we're going to learn to play defense, and I just thought it was an hour. It was riveting to me, and it was good. And at some point, the kids were so quiet, I thought, are they getting this? Because, you know, I thought, is this a little too much for them? I didn't think the kids got it, but I went up there and I said, okay, I'm the tailback, and I said, and they just were right on it. I mean, it was really impressive.